The changing landscape of the housing market in Las Vegas requires a real estate professional that understands how to get your offer accepted, willing to go above and beyond for service and accountability. Hi, my name is Dan French, and I'm a California native that transitioned to Las Vegas 19 years ago. I've been in the real estate and financing industry for over 13 years. Most real estate agents struggle with answering their phone, returning phone calls, and overall structure running a solid real estate business. Many of my competitors do not have the knowledge of how to write solid offers to legitimately have your offer looked at, and they work with a commission-first mentality. I will roll up my sleeves and work hard to find the right home for you regardless of the time it takes. Please call me directly 702-557-6176 to start the process of finding the right home for you. I'm available 7 days a week for all your real estate needs.
Dan's a fantastic man. He really is.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
What's going on, everybody? This is Dan French. This is the French Workbench podcast here on a Tuesday, and we got a full studio of people in here today. We have a special guest, actually a couple of them, and we're going to talk with them and introduce them. Go across the room. This is the most real behind-the-scenes information regarding financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs going on here in Las Vegas. I'm your host, Dan French, and let's get right into this. What's going on today, everybody? What's going on, ladies? I'm going to introduce you both at the same time.
What?
Awesome.
What's going on? We got Corin, and we also have
Well, we get equal pay. So
Shannon. What's going on, ladies?
Oh my gosh. Me, I'm tired. I've been moving and getting kids to put their stuff away.
Good luck with that. Yeah.
They're trying to get, well, their kids are putting their stuff away. What's going on with that?
It's like this big dramatic scene to fold your laundry and put it away. Put your books up on shelves.
Dude, I just want to take my laundry and just throw it in the back of my car or truck and just say, somebody take care of this.
Yeah, well, the
I
last
washed
move,
it. It's clean.
my
Now
last
what?
move, that's what I did. I paid people who did it this time. I got my hands dirty. I have 2 broken fingernails because of it.
no.
And I have one son that doesn't like to do a whole lot of hard work.
Who does, man? When I was young, I didn't want to do any of that stuff.
But did you?
I had to, because
Did you
if
throw a
I
fit?
didn't, I would probably get a, you know,
Get a
you ever guys
whooping.
heard, you
I
guys
know.
hear the term whooping?
Yes. Oh, yeah. My parents didn't play.
Yeah. No, but we were definitely had to do some stuff, some chores around the house. It was part of the deal, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
anything else? You know, so I want to introduce really quick Corin. She's a
Hey.
real estate agent with Keller Williams, and we also got Shannon here. She's also a business consultant, and you guys can find their information. It's going to be all in the comment section. I want to go over here and introduce our guests. We have 2 guests, and I'm going to go ahead and introduce our first guest, and they own a winery, I'm assuming, right? A winery, and it's called
We own a wine brand.
Wine Brand, right? Okay, so is it called Status? Is that right?
What's your status,
What's
baby?
your status?
Ooh,
So
I like
you
it.
guys this is Hola. Did I say that right? Hola?
Hola.
Hola. Hola.
Oh,
So
that's
what's
hot
going on,
there.
Hola? So you and also Bill, we got Bill over here.
How's it going?
How's it going? So you guys started this winery.
Wine brand.
Wine brand.
Yeah.
So tell us the story of how this got started, because a lot of people don't know. We're about entrepreneurs, right? We're about people that have ideas and they're just progressing in life, and they're like, hey, I'm going to try something new and something different. How did you guys get started in all this?
I'm gonna let Hola tell you our story on that one. Go ahead, honey.
No, we actually got started back in 2013 when we first entered into the wine and spirits industry. We honestly didn't really know anything about the industry. We didn't know anybody in the industry that we could talk to about it.
Right.
Thank God for YouTube and Google.
Right.
Get it. Really serious. And we launched a ready-to-drink martini brand in 2014, which is our first time that we ever had like a taste of what it felt like. We went through all the licensures and everything. Like I said, if you entrepreneurs who really want to know, you all your energy goes to what you're focused on. right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And there's so much resources today. We live in the decades of where information is abundant.
You were prepared.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So we just like literally stalked a lot of people who are already successful in the industry, people who had wineries who were producing product. We followed a lot of stories in Forbes, Inc. 500 magazines.
Yeah.
And then networking. I'm going to be honest with you. At the end of the
Right.
day, it boils down to networking. So when people say, "Well, how did you get started?"
Yeah.
We networked our way through. We failed a lot. We still fail till this very day. But putting actually, tabling and writing. My brother Alex Toro and I, we were at a bowling alley, and we had a napkin that we drew on. And we wrote out our plan of how we were going to start a brand.
Wow.
And all the creative thing that you see, all the logos, all the videos, all the digital marketing was done by my brother, Alex Toro, who we've been together. We started the company together with my husband. But, it's definitely been, what should I say, like, learn as you go type of thing. That's
Right.
kind of like how we learn as you go. But as everyone knows, the wine and spirits industry is just one of the most competitive industries in the world.
Well, okay, so what would you say your number one thing that puts you guys higher and higher and higher? Like, I know you talked about doing your own research, networking, and then marketing and branding and getting, I know that you guys are really active on social media, correct?
Yeah.
What's your handle, by the way?
Drink status.
Drink status. Okay, I'm gonna follow you guys. But what would you say your number one thing that rose you to the top?
Honestly, it sounds really cliche, but it was the mindset. And my mindset, it took so many different journeys to get my mindset refocused over and over again. But, my husband that's here with me today, he'll tell you he's seen the good, the bad, the ugly.
Yeah.
And whenever my mind, whenever I lose focus, when you lose focus, you become anxious. When you become anxious, you become worried. And when you become worried, you start to doubt yourself. And when you start to doubt yourself, then you're just kind of like, I have no idea what I'm doing. And I can't tell you how, I can't remember when I could say I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Every time we did something, we had no idea what the heck we were doing.
That's a beautiful thing to hear and I think that that's the hardest part for most entrepreneurs is it's getting past that mindset because you have to up level. Between the two of you, like working together because sometimes one's down and the other one's up, right? And so how do you guys manage that as a couple?
Ooh, I don't know how. Ask Bill because he's
Bill,
had
tell
to carry.
us.
Yeah,
he's
Bill,
had to
Bill, I
carry
want to ask you
so
something, man.
much.
So you had a real footprint on this whole thing, and you guys. I know I was talking to her a little bit, and you guys just came up with this idea, and you guys were on. Was it a honeymoon or something? You guys were on? Was that right?
It was our anniversary.
Your anniversary, and did you have any doubts coming into? Because everybody's got doubts when they start a business, and it's a brand new business, something you've never done. You've never thought about doing it. So what was the things and some of the challenges you had to overcome starting this out?
Well, it's a funny story because it was our anniversary and we had a couple of drinks, and she started talking about like, "Hey, I'm gonna start an alcohol brand." And at the moment, I'm sitting there thinking to myself, "We just had way too much to drink, right? Like we don't know anything about this, right? Like I'm in construction, she's in leading a school at the moment, and I'm like." Okay, babe. So tomorrow, I know we're pretty drunk. Tomorrow we wake up there, I won't hear about this anymore, right? So, funny story. We're driving home from our anniversary, and first thing she says, she's sitting there jotting down stuff. And she's like, "Yeah, so we got a meeting once we get home. I already got a brand name. The team's ready to meet. Decide
Ready to
and I'm sitting there thinking to myself like." Okay, maybe you weren't that drunk. I was drunk.
You're like, we had that conversation? I don't remember that conversation.
Yeah, but it was just like that. Like it just popped up like that, and I was like, okay, let's go.
That's
and
awesome.
I'm like what I love about our relationship is like whatever she comes up with, I'm always there to like back her 100%, no matter what it is.
Oh.
Even through.
Do you guys think you would have the same success if you didn't have each other pushing each other to get this done?
Well, there was a time where we were apart. We were apart, and we were even we were sharing our kids over the weekends.
Yeah.
Wow.
And nothing moved, not even the business.
Oh,
Sure.
yeah. Oh, wow.
Nothing moved, huh?
Nothing.
See, and I think that's the
Nothing
hardest
grew.
part of life. It's like, man, you're doing all these things. You probably invested money, and you don't see very, very small increments of the business moving or anything that you see. It's like you got to just like keep going.
Well, I think
you know?
that that's the thing, though. I mean, what you're saying and you talked about with mindset is you guys parted. It wasn't the right decision, and then it's mentally, if you're not in the mindset to drive and you're stuck in, you know, sorrow or
Yep.
depression or any of those things, then there's a ton of doubt and it all builds. So it makes sense that the business slowed down.
And then the second we got back together again, we were at the Emmys. We had distribution. We went into production.
You guys went to the wait. You went to the Emmys?
Their status was at the Emmys.
Stop it
Wow.
right now.
Yes.
Listen.
Talk this. I want to know
Now
about
that
this.
is
What happened with the
amazing.
Emmys?
Well, we are the designated sparkling wine that's served right behind the curtain. So when you go into when the award winners win their award,
Oh my
and they get their
gosh.
award after they give their speech,
They got
They go
status.
right backstage, and when they celebrate, they hold their trophy and status.
I remember that
Wow.
post. I remember
Now
that
that's-
post.
now
Who
that's
did you see
amazing.
behind the curtain there? Did you see?
So, I mean, there's Regina King, there's
Oh, I
Anthony
love
Anderson,
her.
there's Viola Davis.
Really?
there was-
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. Let me ask you this. This is very important. I think for any entrepreneur to hear is what did you do to get that to happen?
So, I know that entrepreneurs are listening, but what I did was I built a contact list
Yeah.
of what I wanted to achieve for the year. Because at the end of the day, we all have these amazing dreams. And my business partner, and she's my colleague, her name is Keiki in Hawaii, and she said, so many of us have these dreams, right? But we don't even know how to fathom or how to even we don't even know, is it going to drop in the line from heaven? Are we going to just bump into it in
Right.
the hallway? So I put a contact list of what we needed to see happen for the year. And we failed our way through it, but everything that we wanted to achieve, brand notoriety, we wanted to be on a red carpet with, amazing stars, and we achieved every single one of those things. And so for an entrepreneur, the first thing you got to know is, what do you even want? What do you want?
Yeah.
What do you want to see happen? And then you have to figure out, where are you currently at? Like, where am I standing? Where's my feet right now? And then, do you go north? Do you go south? Do you go northwest? Do you go southwest? Which direction do you need to go? And then you try to move in that direction.
That's amazing. You just lit me up.
So
I'm like, okay, let's go.
And she's all doing this with 4 kids, y'all.
Oh,
Yeah.
no,
Both of you guys,
I was
4
pregnant.
kids.
It's funny. She
Oh,
was
you were
pregnant.
pregnant. You can
Really?
even drink your
You couldn't
stuff.
even
Serving
drink
alcohol
it.
at the Emmys, and people were like, and she was like,
LL Cool J, he
what was the
said,
saying you were saying?
LL Cool J, he comes to our booth, and he goes, "Oh my goodness!" He says, "Why are you back? Oh, sit down, please have a seat." And because I said, "Would you like a drink? Would you like to try a drink?" He goes, "Oh no, Mama, sit down. What are you doing here?" And I go, "I'm a working mom. I'm a
Good
working
for
mom,
you.
and I would never miss the opportunity to share my brand with you. So I'm here to serve you." And so he called a bartender to come over and say, "Is that a bartender? Come and serve this
Okay.
drink. I'm not going to take it from a pregnant woman." And I said, "I do not recommend anyone drinking while you're pregnant. I don't drink when I'm pregnant, but I am a working mom. I'm a
There you
working
go.
pregnant
Good
mom."
for you
Yeah.
guys.
You got to. So there's a
That's
lot of
lot.
people that start wine businesses, right?
Yeah.
And I think you going into it. What did you know about the wine business? Did you know anything about it before you started?
When I say zero, I mean like absolutely zero. We knew zero. We didn't even know that there was like a 3-tier system. We didn't know what distribution was. And we didn't realize it was going to be very difficult to get distribution.
Is it a competitive market? I mean, you would think, because I go to the store and it's like you just see rows and rows of wines, all different, and it's like some of them go away, some of them pop up again. So like, how do you guys get that brand out where it's like predominant, right?
So what we did initially, so in 2017 is when we launched Status Sparkling Wines.
Okay.
And thanks to amazing partners. And what we decided was, instead of, like you said, lining ourselves up in the library of wines at grocery stores, we became only available to the industry. So we only catered to food and beverage companies that served in sports arenas. So like Madison Square Garden, the Prudential Center, the Wells Fargo building, the American Airlines. So generally, the stadiums, the sports arenas from coast to coast.
The big.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
And so what was great about food and beverage companies is they order in bulk, you know, because they order for the Disney on Ice, the WWE,
Right.
the concert series, then the NBA. And, you know, you're looking for your house sparkling wine.
Yeah.
And we kind of like created a niche as the house sparkling wine at those venues.
Yeah, at those venues.
And so when you go to Disney on Ice, and let's just say I say, Dan, what do you want to drink? And if you tell me, oh, I'll take a lager, and I go, you know what? They don't have lager. They have IPA. Are you gonna say, well, no, never mind?
Yeah,
You'll be like,
you're going to be like, give me that suggestion. I would-
yeah, I'll just take
Somebody's
whatever they
giving
got.
me this for a reason.
especially when you're in a stadium, and,
Right.
you know, you're not like, okay, they don't have the
Yeah.
Chardonnay
You're not gonna be
by,
that
you
picky,
know.
yeah.
And if you're
Toasted.
like pre-gaming, you're not going to care anyways. Whatever
yeah.
somebody
You
says,
nailed
it's
it.
like, just give it to me. You,
You
know what I
nailed
mean?
it.
Whatever it
You
is.
get
that how it
something
goes,
really
Dan?
good.
Yeah, you nailed it. And our goal as an entrepreneur, right? If you're not making sales,
You don't have a business.
yeah, correct.
Right,
And
right.
if no one was pouring our product, if it's sitting inside the bottle, if there's no liquid on lips and no one's drinking this, then we're in trouble.
Right.
And so that was the strategy. And so we were very, very fortunate enough to network our way and definitely become, you know, the main sparkling wine from arenas from coast to coast. And that 2019 was probably one of our largest. It was our largest year. You know, with over 53,000 units produced for such a
Wow.
small
Yeah.
business.
So you guys, how long you been in business? Total years.
2014, but Status has been alive since 2017.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you guys are from Hawaii. What part of Hawaii were you guys? Are you guys from different parts of the islands?
So I'm born and raised in Honolulu, Hawaii.
Okay.
And
I'm a
then
little further down. I was born in Tonga,
Tonga.
but yeah.
they had that big volcano eruption.
Yeah.
That's where he's from.
So how did you guys end up meeting?
Oh, I love this story.
Oh,
Come on.
please do.
I was
Oh,
waiting.
This is fun.
I was
Tell
waiting
me.
for this story.
I want to hear a beautiful story.
I've known my husband since I was 12.
Wow, 12.
I'll let him talk.
Do I really have to tell the story?
Yeah. Come
Yeah, I
on,
think we
Bill.
need. I need it from
Come
a
on, we wanna
man's
hear.
perspective,
We
right?
want to hear.
Okay, so there was a big, you know, our Tongan culture, we have these big celebrations every year. And then it's funny, like the first time I ever saw her, she was walking to her car, and I'm sitting with my best friends. We're all sitting in our car, and I'm like, oh, who's that girl right there?
Doesn't it always start that
It
way? It's
always-
like-
yeah,
you
you're
know what
always
I'm saying?
asking, right?
You know, it's like, wait, who is that? I
Whose cousin
got
is
to know
that?
who that is.
Yeah, so
But-
I'm like, oh, who is that? You know, I was like,
You hit
oh,
the
that's the most
jackpot.
beautiful Tongan girl I've ever seen in my life, right? And the funny story is like in our culture, family, right? It's like if your cousin or brother is with me, it's so disrespectful for you to talk about, because it's all about respect.
Yeah.
In our culture, everything's
Yeah.
respect. And
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Yeah.
yeah, so I'm sitting there, and her cousin is next to me, right? And he goes, that girl right there? Points at her, and I'm like, who are you talking about? He goes, well, I know that girl's my cousin, the one in whatever. She was
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, oh, no. Who's the other one? I'll tell your cousin to hook me up with her friend. Right?
I'm gonna
So
get
that
in
was
trouble
that.
here.
Yeah, that was the first time I ever saw her. And then funny thing is, a couple of years later, she moved to Sacramento, is where we pretty much all grew up together, right?
Really? So Sacramento's
Yeah.
where you guys actually kind of got back together?
So, well,
So it
we
was
were
meant to
friends.
be.
We just grew up
Yeah.
as friends our whole life, right?
Yeah.
And
Wow.
my best friend was dating her. And throughout our whole,
Girls.
growing up together, right? And then we all kind of split ways. And then the funny story is, which I always say it was always meant to be, right? Me and her cousin, once again.
The same cousin.
We get off work and we're driving home. And
I'm 30 years old at
yeah,
this time.
we got married really young, 30 years old. So we're driving home from work, and then he goes, hey, dude, are you hungry? And I'm like, nah, I'm okay. He goes, well, this Mongolian place is really good. I know the food. And I'm like, nah, let's go. Just drop me off. We go down like a couple blocks, and I'm like, you know what? Something kept telling me you should just go eat there, right?
Yeah.
We go a couple blocks, and I'm like, you know what? Let's go back and eat, man. Let's go try it, right? We walk in there. We sit down. I look over, and I haven't seen her for years and years and years. And I'm like, is that Hola? Of course, I'm with her cousin again. And he's like, no, that's not Hola. Like, he hasn't seen her for years, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, that's Hola. And he goes, nah, that's not Hola. And it's the fun, well, that's the funny part of the story because I'm thinking to myself like, okay, first moment I ever saw her,
Yeah.
and I thought she was the most beautiful girl ever.
And then it
And
comes
I'm with
back
her cousin,
around.
and it comes back around. I'm with her cousin again, right?
If like they say, man,
Full
if you
circle.
let it go and it
That's
comes
right.
back,
Yeah, yeah.
it's meant to be,
Exactly.
right?
That's when I was like, we just kind of started hanging out. But this time I was like, okay, I'm second opportunity. I'm not gonna let it pass by this time. So
I don't blame
here
you.
we are today, 4 kids later,
Oh
and
my god.
How old are the kids?
13,
Uh-huh.
12, 11, and then 6. I was we had 3 in diapers all at the same time.
Wow.
oh, it was so hard on me. Trust me.
Yeah.
Now you see why we got into the alcohol business.
I understand. I
was
understand. So you guys went through the challenges of you said, I want to talk about your network, right? Your networking. Everybody in this business here or in this studio
Yeah.
here all knows the importance of networking. And you guys are saying the lifeline of your guys' business growing and where it is today is because you networked. Is that not true?
It's 100% truth. And not only just the network, we were able to establish like a solid family. We call it the status family. And they all have key roles. And we added a new member just this past year. His name is David Miller. But we have, like I said, my brother Alex Toro, who came up with all of the marketing. We have Brianna Belcher. We have Christiana Lopez. We have Robert Tangipa. They're like all into all the marketing, all the ideas, reaching out, networking to like, let's see if we can get into Coachella this year. How can we get into Tribeca Film Festival this year? How can we? So we established a team, but the team is also they're also master networkers as well.
Yeah.
I think we intentionally put a team like that together just to get us ahead, because we the whole bloodline of the business is networking, and it's coming outside of the comfort zone. So if I need to meet someone, for example, there was the Grammys for the first time are being held here in Vegas.
Yeah.
And so there's a Grammy party happening. So the main people who are, putting it together, they're located in Los Angeles. Well, guess what? We're going to Los Angeles then. I'm going to figure out how to go and meet this person so that we could talk, or I'll find out.
That
how to
wasn't
know
scary
someone
to
and
you?
know.
That wasn't like weren't worried? You weren't like, well, man, I don't know. I'm taking such a big leap. Is it going to, like, I don't know. A lot of people, they can't get out of their comfort zone. And I think that's the hard part.
Well,
right?
then they're not
We
entrepreneurial.
were conditioned that way. Even entrepreneurs, I still, have a lot of anxiety of trying to figure out, okay, we need to be in the Allegiant Stadium. How do we figure that out?
Yeah.
We need to be in the local casinos, or we need to be in, because Vegas is such a plethora of business opportunity for any business, especially in food and beverage,
Oh,
and to be
absolutely.
local here.
Yeah.
But I still have anxiety of like, oh my gosh, I don't know where I'm going to start. Where do I start? And so, back to what Dan's question is, like, that seems like such a big leap. You're going to go all the way to LA to just go talk to somebody.
Right.
And the answer is, heck yeah. How bad do you want it?
It just takes that one conversation, honestly.
It's
No
how
matter
bad
where
do you
you
want
are.
it? At
Well,
the
and
end of the
how
day?
do you overcome the anxiety? Because I think all of us here can agree, as an entrepreneur, when you're networking and when you're going and you're asking, you're making the ask, right? You get nervous. There is an anxiety, and I define it as we can either decide that we're scared or we're excited, because they feel the same in the body. So which one do you want it to be? Make yourself excited, make that decision, and go. How do you process that to get you over that barrier?
Well, it's so funny because we had a Zoom meeting last night with my team out of Hawaii, and we, Keiki again, she had this saying where you look at yourself on your phone and you're like, you are a badass woman. You can do this. You are it. You are
Pump yourself
amazing. You are you about to go handle this. Mwah. You know what I mean? Like one of those things you get.
You need that. It's like
love
you
that.
do.
Yeah.
It's a motivator, right? It's like the person that's like, hey, you know what? When all else fails, or you feel like you're getting down, because look, part of starting a business, from my perspective, I can't speak for you guys, but it's being a little naive to a situation where there's no chance to fail, right? You have no option to fail. I know it sounds like, oh, okay, it's cliche, but if you're going to make it, especially in something you don't even know about, you got to do all the research. You got to find out who the contacts are. You got to fly out to LA, right? I mean, so there's a lot of things behind the scenes that people don't know what you're doing to get where you're at today?
We've flown places and couldn't even make the contacts at times, you know, and came home empty-handed. I'm talking like, you know.
And that's probably discouraging, right? I mean, you're like,
How do you
man,
get
do
over
I
that
keep going?
Yeah, how do you get over that?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. First, we come home saying, forget this. Quit.
We come home and then we have a couple of drinks and go.
We can do it.
And then you get the
Absolutely.
napkin,
What
you
were
get
we
the
thinking
napkin
of that?
out, and
Absolutely.
you write everything down.
I start looking at all of the old pictures
Yeah.
of how we started. And I say, we didn't come this far to just come this far.
Yeah.
Finish the dang thing. You know
That's
what I
what
mean?
they say.
It's not how we start, it's how we
remember
finish.
why you started.
Yeah, remember
I
how
I
we
think
started.
that's also a key. Is this,
Yeah. Remember why you started.
It's always the why, right? Like,
Right,
why are you
absolutely.
doing this? Why are you putting yourself
well,
through this hardship?
what's
and-
your guys' whys? And they
You have
and they
four
could
whys.
be individual. Well, I mean, because
Other
yeah,
than the
kids
four
can be
kids.
it. Like my kids, I have 2 kids. They're part of my why, but not my entire why.
Yeah.
Right? What is yours?
For me, the challenge of being able to put a fingerprint in the wine and spirits business industry, it lacks an influence of women already. It already it lacks the presence of a woman's touch in the
Yeah.
wine and spirits industry. And there are, oh my gosh, incredible women in this industry. Some that I admire, I know personally. I have 3 amazing business partners that we launched the first women's whiskey in Sacramento, California. It's the first women's whiskey since Prohibition.
Yeah.
Wow.
But just the mere fact of being able to put a fingerprint in this industry my own way drives me because I'm already naturally driven. But the biggest why is because, you know, I do it for my family, for my children. I want them to see that you can achieve whatever it is that you put your mind to.
Yeah.
And that you do not have to follow a certain system, a cookie cutter system, that you can create and just blaze your own path. You know, I didn't go to college. So if someone that didn't go to college, it doesn't matter. You could still you blaze your own path. And the other reason I think my husband and I, we want to be able to build things without having any financial concerns. Yeah. It's not about being rich. It's not about being wealthy. It's about not having financial concerns, being able to build multiple things.
It's freedom.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
there you go.
Financial freedom.
Do you guys feel the impact, like even with business, with this whole? We have a lot of inflation problems. We all know this.
Yeah.
Right. And is everybody dealing with the same issues in business? I would think that it's the same. Where you're struggling if you have employees, right, or if you're getting things, delivered on time. You know, you guys need to deliver bottles of wines.
Bottles, glass, caps,
Everything
foils,
has to be delivered.
capsules,
Yeah.
and now it's like, you know, the inflation has definitely impacted us. So our bottom line of our cost of goods have definitely.
Is diminished.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Well, now we just have to add on to our price points.
I see.
You see?
Yeah.
I see.
Because
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's nothing else.
There's nothing else you can
about
do.
it,
you're
Yeah.
gonna drink status.
Well,
I
let me
think
ask you
everybody's
this.
used to it.
'Cause
Absolutely.
I was wondering because you said you started this. You said 2017. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
So 2017, 2019 was your biggest year, correct? Now, how did you guys get through 2020 if you guys were going after the big, like the airlines, all the stadiums, because they all shut down?
so did we.
You did.
How did you get
yeah.
through that?
We sheltered in place. And we put on a mask and we went for walks
everybody
every
else
day.
did.
With bottles of status.
Yeah. But what did you guys do like through that period? Because as an entrepreneur, I think whether it's COVID or something else, there's going to be those moments
Yeah.
where in your business you go, oh shit, like
Yep.
we're stuck, right?
So-
what did you guys do?
I mean, we ran into, so 2019, although it was such an amazing year for us, numbers wise, we ran into bad business partners, dishonest people, actors who pretend. We learned a lot of, hard lessons, but lessons
Wow.
I wouldn't change a thing. I'd still go through all of those rifts because you need to go through those things so that you can actually like reprogram your mindset so that you recognize all those indicators and those symptoms. Because we ran into some people that ripped us off, but that was 2019, right? So then we have to shelter in place, and here we are with our biggest year, right? And we're just like about to, the tidal wave is just building,
Building,
and then
yeah.
it was like flat, right? And so we took some time off. That was so well needed. But while we sheltered in place, all we did, my husband and I, was create. We created more brands. We created more formulas. We created different different lines, different lines of beverages.
Where does
Good for
that
you guys.
passion come from though? Because obviously, like people got to enjoy what they do as well a little bit. You know, I mean, look, I love wine. I love red wine. I drink it all the time. You know, but I'm not saying, well, let me look at this thing and just say, hey, I'm going to start my own wine business, and then also go through those challenges. Like, what keeps you guys motivated, and is it something like you guys are really
excited?
Yeah. Why are you excited so much about wine?
I'm more of a beer person, but just be honest. I just want
really love
everybody to
this
know
guy.
that. But no,
Hey, you
I
guys-
love wine. I love wine, sparkling wine. And stuff,
You
but
guys got to come out status beer now.
Yeah.
you know what it is? I think over the years, what we've really learned to love the most is just to love life, right? If you learn to just be grateful for everything in life, then no matter what journey you're taking in life, it doesn't really matter, because every time we have failed, we've learned the most from it.
Right.
You know? And like she says, we've networked, and we met 100 people. Out of that 100 people, we met one person that led us to the right place that we needed to be at the right time, right?
That's crazy.
Yeah, so it's like, it's always a
Wow.
numbers game, like they said. You just keep going.
Yeah.
But the one thing you have to wake up every morning in life and remember, damn, I'm awake. My kids are doing good. You know, we're all healthy and stuff. And if you just, learn to be happy and just be grateful, you will have so much passion in life. So I think
we need to be friends with you guys.
We are. I
love you so much.
yeah, because we talk so much. She's been teaching me more about like my mindset, motivating, motivational stuff. But yeah, once you learn in life to change your mind, it's like now I look at like the obstacles are not for us. Like, oh man, that didn't work out. Who cares? 300
Next.
times didn't work out.
Yeah.
But that one time that it worked out, it worked out. So
Yeah.
I feel that too. Like you have challenges, and maybe you're not that person that you are now. But I feel like I was a part of that, where I felt like sometimes I was affected, and it was somebody else's issue, or being all positive every day and saying it's going to work out. It's hard to have that if you don't have it already. Like she might have had it already. Did you have to develop that?
Man, I'm one of those. I'll be honest. The one thing my dad taught me is to just let things roll off, right? And a lot of times she's like, dude, why don't you worry about stuff? And I'm like, it's going to work out, babe, no matter what in life, right? Because, my dad was that type of person. Now that I look back and I know that he struggled, to pay our bills. And, we struggle like putting food on the table. But he never once.
He had faith.
He just believed everything's going to work out, right? And I knew there was times when, bill collectors are calling at our house. And I'm like,
Oh, wow.
oh, who? Dave Smith? I don't know who that is. I had no idea our cable was under Dave Smith. And I'm like, who's Dave Smith? No, that person doesn't live here, right?
Yeah, exactly. No, I mean, listen, I think we've all been a part of
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
at
you
some
know what I
point,
mean?
I
Like-
mean, it's like everybody's struggled, but I get it.
What
But
do
I-
you do with it?
Yeah, just from that experience, I think my dad taught me, like, my mom would be the one that stressed, but my dad would never show any ounce of stress ever. Everything just like went through one ear, came out the other ear. But he made it happen every day, right? So it didn't affect us in a way but I knew what my dad was going through, and it kind of just rubbed off on me. So I know sometimes she's like, dude.
Sometimes it's like you have the male figure in the house
Yeah.
that they might be stressing just as much as anybody else, if not
True.
more, right?
Yeah,
But they
we-
got to keep that, okay, things are going to be okay. I'm guiding the ship.
Yeah.
Right, and we're going to get to the spot because it's very easy to say, "Okay, I'm out, I'm done, I can't do it no more," because it's hard.
Oh no, this time I'm sure
that
every
make
relationship,
Does that make a good partnership then?
Yeah,
you
that
think,
equal
right?
balance.
It seems
Yeah,
like
because
Yeah,
that.
I'm
Yeah.
alpha
yeah.
all day.
Oh, here we go. With
Like
alpha.
I'm such an alpha. I'm
Yeah.
a train that just goes and you can't stop me. You will get run over.
I love you.
And my husband is, he's the one the only one that has ever been able to tame me. That could get me to sit still. That could get me to listen.
Well, that and status, right?
Yeah. I'm a status bottom. Baby good, yeah.
What's your secret to that, Bill?
Oh gosh, you know what? Sometimes just sit back and listen and think
Yeah.
about things before you react to it. Is what I always say. Like, don't react right away because it's not the.
Don't try to fix it.
Yeah. Don't
You
try to
just
fix things when
listen.
when things are not going right. Just let it work itself out, and then it'll work itself out no matter what.
Spoken like a good man.
what other things do you guys have to say? I want to say this because we're running out a little bit
Oh,
of time.
sorry.
But no, I love it. I love the stories. I mean, that's how time goes. If you're going and you're having fun, things are just going to keep going. So what I want to ask you guys is the housing market. Okay, and also kind of where you guys see this whole thing with the world and the economy and things like that. So we all know rates are going up, right? This housing market here in Las Vegas is consistently hot. You know, we have 2,200 homes roughly on the market consistently every month. What do you guys think? I mean, you think it's going to be okay to buy in this market, or are you guys a little bit worried?
Keeping an eye on it, right? Oh my gosh.
We've been keeping an eye on it
Yeah.
very, very closely. Real estate is definitely something that Bill and I have definitely been active in wanting to invest in, and we have partners that we're like, planning to invest with. But we have been looking at it very closely, and it is definitely what is it called? Like I don't know. It's like
a pendulum, like it goes up and down, like the market.
The pendulum's going like this, and
keeps
we're worried
going.
it's gonna crash. Is it gonna crash? It's gonna be good. It's just.
Yeah, I think.
What do you think, Dan?
Well, I think it's risky for anybody, right? But I mean, if you can afford to buy a home, it's a good time to buy a house. But everybody wants to strategically buy something at the right time.
Yep.
And again, it just depends on what's going around. I think if I was going to go out and buy a primary residence, I would have to buy at the bullet, right? I mean, it's just because why do I want to pay rent? Now, if I'm going to go in and invest with people, investing's good too, because guess what? Rents are going to be, you're going to get paid.
We're good on that. Yeah.
Even though it's a hot market, it just doesn't seem like it's slowing down, but yet it's still pushing people out, because if rates go up, right? Housing market keeps going up. Price affordability goes down, right, for people.
Yep.
And home affordability is a problem. So for me, I always look at it and say, well, yeah, it's a good time to buy, but I can also see on the other side, I can't just say, well, it's great, guys, everybody go buy. Man, it's tough. You got $435 as the average price for a home.
Yep.
And you look at this whole thing that's going on right now, and it's like, you know what? I don't know. I'm worried.
Well, didn't they
That's that's exactly my thoughts as well, what you just said.
Yeah, because we don't know, and that's the thing, you don't know. I mean, you can predict, and you can look at where the market's at, and like with the rates going higher, then the housing prices are going to slow. They're not going to be another like 30% higher in the next year like they were the last. But I do have a question for you, because I saw something come out about mortgage rates recently, and I can't remember what the price point was, but they were coming up. I don't even remember. You should know this, because it just came out the other day. It was like headline news that came
Well, I mean,
across
look, everybody's going to
with the
ask what
rates.
rates are doing. That's going to be a component to everybody getting into a house if they need a loan, right? It's still cheap money. Now, was it as cheap as it was 2 years ago? Absolutely not, right? Even a year and a half ago, 2020. But you got to look at it that you got to play the game. Now, could the war, Ukraine, and what's going on with over in Russia, could that actually affect the situation?
True.
Yeah.
Because investors are all about risk and risky assets, and then pulling back when they see risk, things like that. So it's a constant moving parts, right, of all these things that's going on.
Yeah.
So to go back and say what rates are doing and go back and say what the housing market's doing, I feel that everybody is pushed into this market for multiple reasons. But one of them is fear of missing out, right? Because they feel like, well, the rates are going to keep going up, prices are going to keep going up. Do you guys feel that you're going into a market fear of missing out on this market here in Las Vegas?
I don't have. Well, first off, I want to back up and say, as far as like the Airbnb and all of that, like we're good on that. But as far as going into the market feeling like we're missing out, I don't feel like I'm missing out. That's just the vibe that I get, and I go off of energy, and I could be wrong. But I think the temperature of why I feel that way is because of everything that is happening right now. There's just
Right.
so many moving parts right now. It's like-
So there's nothing going to derail you guys. Like, you don't have any sense of caution with this market because just where things are at, you're okay with where it's at. Is that kind of where you're like, hey, you know what? I'm a little reserved because I don't like what I see, you know? So
I am reserved. I am totally reserved just for right now. And maybe
Are you guys
ask me next
investing
week.
right now?
Right now, I think Ukraine just got invaded, and you're just
Yeah.
looking at stock markets go crazy. So I feel like the temperature of where we're at, like we were wearing UGG boots and layered clothing on Saturday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was snowing in
Yeah.
Vegas on Thursday, and then today it's like 75
It's
degrees.
75 degrees.
What about you, Bill? What do you think about this market?
That's a good question. Like for me, I think even if you just look throughout history, it's always going to go up and down, and it's just kind of like, I think it's people's own personal preference, right? If you can buy a house and you can afford it and you can do it, just go for it, because it doesn't matter even if the rates go up. when you do buy, your prices, everything goes up. But if it goes down when you buy, it still stays basically the same.
And
if you're holding for
no matter
10,
what, you know what I mean?
20
Like,
years.
yeah.
Exactly.
But it's at the end of the day, it's always the best investment in life is always going to be real estate.
Yeah.
So
Right.
Well, I want to take a little bit, absolutely interject what you just said. If you can afford to buy a house, and I understand. Actually, right now I'm taking a little bit of a different point of view. I know we talk a lot about numbers here on the show about real estate and stuff like that, and of course that's very important. But I guess lately I've been very fortunate with buyers who they can afford to buy a house. Not that they're oozing money. Well, some of them are. Thank you. But really, it's more of like, okay, they're not trying to time the market. Their real priorities, like, we want a home. We want to be close to family. And, whatever the market's going to do next year or 10 years from now, we just want to be in a place with our family, close, enjoy the home. We want it to be our forever home. Or I have some clients, it's like, this is going to be our forever home. I know those are famous last words, but they're 80 years old. So I'm going to figure, it's going to be their forever home now. And they moved at 80 years old. I'm so proud of them, because this is what they want, so, and this is what's going to fit their lifestyle. So I think, that's just another angle, I think, point of view from the numbers thing where, for me, I'm a very emotional house buyer. And I'm a real estate agent. I should be looking at numbers, but when I see that, I'm like, oh, that's my house right there. Ooh, my dog's going to love that yard, So there's always still that human connection, which brings me to that article that came out this week. I almost choked on my coffee, where the Zillow president.
On your status, you almost choked on your
no,
status.
I'm not spilling a drop of status. But thank you, by the way, Bill and Hola brought that. Where she said the president, I forget what her name is, the president of Zillow said, "Oh, real estate is always going to be a human-to-human contact kind of thing." I'm like, are you kidding me, lady?
Like, really? Did she actually say that?
It's not just high tech and technology. I was like,
oh my goodness.
You guys, like,
You should have went up to her and said, put
Took
my
out
hand
the
to yours. I need to
emotion.
feel your warmth.
Yeah.
Human contact.
I couldn't
please.
believe that. She's
Your
gonna
face.
she's gonna be saying, she's speaking at Inman, which is our industry conference in April in New York, and I was like, real estate is still a human to human contact transaction and stuff like that.
That's so interesting.
We have
because
friends that bought
so-
multi-million-dollar. We have friends that bought multi-million-dollar homes that never even got a chance to walk through the actual home here in Vegas.
Yeah.
Here in Vegas, it was multi-million-dollar homes. They just peeked through the window, and then they were like, "Take care of the rest." Hola, can you go pick up my key? I'm still in California. Realtor.
So interesting.
Yeah. So I mean, it wasn't even. And I will say, this is definitely a very prosperous time. I have so many dear friends like Corin.
Thank you.
Who are doing really, really well. We have relatives that do loans and things like that in California, and they're crushing it right now. So I definitely feel like, a lot of people are putting their money into real estate right now, because if you don't put it in real estate, what else are you going to put it into during a time of crisis that you have that is actually tangible, that has the opportunity to build in value?
If you definitely can, honestly, with our short inventory, buy.
I was going to say this. So we got a question here.
Yep.
And the question is, is there a place where you can check out status outside of, let's say, a stadium? Like, how do you get it?
That was going to be
Such a great question.
Yay.
Such a great question. So it is, for the very first time, that's one of the things we've been working on for this past year, is putting together an e-commerce portal to be able to allow status to be delivered straight to your doorstep.
Oh, I love it.
We've solidified national distribution. So now, you could just basically click, and you've got status straight to your doorstep. So
Nice.
it's our first time ever being able to.
And is that's live now, or how long until that's available?
We're doing a product dropped in the next 3 weeks. So we're doing a summer production with summer packaging and everything, which I'm really, really excited for. We have an entire campaign with influencers from coast to coast, social media influencers who have jumped on board to help promote the product launch of status. And then we're just really excited to have Status here locally in Vegas.
Yeah.
At all the local brunch spots, at the local wine bars, at the local
Nice.
little wine shops and things like that. But we've only been here since we moved here during COVID, but we've not even been able to scratch the surface and activate our full networking powers.
Nice.
Oh, good.
So
So you guys are from
We're
Sacramento?
opening up.
Sacktown. Yep.
Sacktown. So you guys do sports, or you guys aren't into sports?
Oh, my husband is totally into sports. My brothers are all athletes. I have all brothers.
What's your
and one
favorite
sister.
sports team over there, Bill?
In Sacramento,
Just in general, like who do you follow the most?
Since he was
Sacramento Kings for
Sacramento Kings.
basketball.
Okay.
But the Raiders, they found out I was moving here, so they moved here.
That's right.
Was that the deciding factor? I think a lot of people move here, man. It's like, where are the Raiders going is where I'm going. You know what I mean?
No.
Not at all.
We love Las Vegas. For us, it was more of the food than the Raiders, but
Yeah. So you guys think Las Vegas, it fits you guys better than, say, Sacramento? I mean, Sacramento probably played its role, but is that true? Or,
Sacramento will always have a heartbeat, within what we do. It's where we produce all of our products. It's where our corporate office is. But Las Vegas is definitely such an amazing fit for Status Bubbles.
Yeah.
It is.
I mean,
Yeah.
it's a time to be bubbly. We're so tired of being sad.
yeah.
to
And
celebrate.
Vegas just is such a great fit. It's such a perfect match. What were you saying?
oh no, it's time to celebrate for sure.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
time to celebrate. And so the opportunity here is so great. And the local distributors, even though they have, certain, what do you call it, niches and things like that.
Yeah.
We've been able to just have one conversation or two conversations and establish really great distribution relationships.
Well, I'll tell you what,
That's
speaking about networking, I know plenty of people that you guys get to know in town. So we need to connect.
Absolutely.
Talk about networking. This
Absolutely.
town, Vegas, it is not a big town.
I know.
No,
It
it's
is.
not.
I mean, everybody knows everybody, and
Everyone.
it's easy to get connected. And as long as trust, and you show up for people in this town, they'll listen.
That I've already learned that so far.
Yeah.
And we're just so excited. So like I said, what we did from 2017 to 2019 and all that we've learned, applying that here in this city that we automatically already love is just, we automatically just have so much excitement of what we'll see Status do this next year.
You
Nice.
guys are gonna crush it.
My parents ran a company, their company for 25 years. I mean, they were with each other 24/7. So, I've seen the good. I've seen not so good sometimes with them, but they were great. They were great success. So, what is the one main piece of advice you would have for couples who want to work together? And even in real estate, some
so
of the
true.
best teams are husband and wife teams, so.
Yeah.
Just learn to duck. If you know how to duck.
That wine bottle's
Yeah,
thrown.
yeah.
It's like,
Bill just
No.
throws these things in there.
And keep on ducking.
No, but honestly, you know what? Husband and wife teams, who knows you better?
All right.
And so there's like an unspoken vibe when you work with your spouse. He'll know right away, or I'll know right away if something is off, so that we can fill in or pick up extra weight where it's necessary and needed. But you really do have to make sure that it's someone that you truly get along with, and be. Maybe it helped that we were best friends before we ever even went on our first date when I was 30.
Yeah.
But I think that's probably the best advice I'd say. If that, and then here's the thing, we have also worked where I worked corporate America, and I spent, I worked 80 hours a week, and
Wow.
I never saw him. I never saw him, and we hated that. We knew. So when we knew about that, okay, do we want to go back to this, or do we want to try this and make this work? Because it was a time where I know he was like, why do I even work with this woman? Why am I here? Why do I need a break?
it's hard, man.
You know what I
It's
mean?
hard because it's such a shift mindset. Like, okay, this is stable. This
Yeah.
is a risk. I got stable life. I know we don't see each other now. You're 80 hours, but you got to make the sacrifice, and I
Yeah.
think that's the hardest hump to come over with, especially if you're married and you're both doing it together.
I mean, but is it really stable though? Because this is the thing, and I talk to people about this all the time. You have something stable stable, but like think about Vegas. It's right to work state. You can fire for no reason at all. Yep. And you're you lose it like that. And then what do? Now you're going and you're looking for another job, another place. Is it going to be a culture where you're comfortable and you enjoy it? Or you can go, just like you said, is create your own culture, create your own brand, create your own drive. And to me, I think that's less risky than working for somebody else personally. Total. I really do, because now it's my passion and my drive and my choice.
I know you guys would not do anything else, even through low spots. You know, I've had quite the week already. It's only Tuesday. But,
Tuesday?
We've talked about it on the show. It's like, would you quit? Oh, no, not at all. No.
Yeah,
Well,
I'll be 90 years old, launching a new wine brand or a new beverage.
Yeah, I'll be there
at 90.
drinking it with
I'll
you.
be like,
I'll be 100.
And you know what?
I'll be pushing her in her wheelchair at 9 years old.
I could see you guys, and if 10 years, something crazy happens, you guys would pivot and you would figure out, all right, what's the next step then? What's the next chapter and what we're creating? We've already created this platform, this foundation. Okay, so let's just move forward. But that really truly is the entrepreneurial mindset.
Yeah.
I think one thing you said about what in life is stable, right? I don't think anything really is stable, right? And I think, like, even for us doing status, like, do we know this is our end game? It might lead us to something totally
Correct.
different, right? You just never know. But
You're
to me,
open
it's just
to
the process of, like, just going forward no matter what in life. Just don't quit. Just keep going. Because, next week we could be doing a beer and I'll be a happy man, right?
Status beer. Status
beer.
lager.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's going to be a branch. I can see it coming. Then you're going to have your own shots, status alcohol, status liquor. You know what I mean? And, we want to say this. Thank you guys for coming on, and we wish you guys
it.
nothing but the
Absolutely.
best
Thank
from
you so
everybody.
much for having
and
us.
they brought a
Seriously.
bottle of status.
We
Thank
sure
you.
did.
Status.
I wore my sparkling.
Yeah, I want to say this. All the
Oh, my
ladies today look
sparkling.
lovely. You guys all dressed up,
Thank
and I
you.
want to kind of head over to here and talk to you guys about what you guys want to talk about on the show. Do you guys have any topic you want to bring up today?
Well, I'm completely inspired, Hola and Bill, because, like I said, it had some down spot. This is real estate right now. I've been saying this. Real estate right now is a blood sport. Honestly, I mean, multiple offers and getting your whatever on time and all of this kind of stuff, and everybody, like, I've been getting pulled in all 20 different directions just since Friday, right? So, which is kind of normal, but sometimes it's like, man, you're just not in the mood for it. So I feel very inspired by you. But then again, it's like, I wouldn't be doing anything different. And I'm so proud of myself because I didn't break anything. I didn't have temper tantrums this week.
Well, it's very challenging. Let's talk about the real estate market
is.
a little bit. It's very challenging right now. And you're out there and you're looking to maybe get a listing for you or whatever it is. And the challenges are, people are saying, well, why would I list with a realtor, right? Or why would I choose you? And then everybody wants to undercut each realtor. I'll do it for this percentage and this percentage. At the end of the day, everybody's trying to make a living and it's making it harder. So the challenges for you is like, well, you got iBuyers. Okay, well, I looked up the numbers. iBuyers are only about 19% of the market right now. Okay, they're not
still pretty good.
That's good, but that's not a lot. You got 2,200 homes and you got roughly 200 homes on the market. So you look at people that want to list their own home, right? Do you guys have a lot of that now? Because people are like, oh, well, why pay a realtor, right? I think the mindset of these sellers is completely out of whack. And I really do. And I think the challenges amongst you and everybody as realtors is very competitive right now.
Yeah.
And it's really pushing people on the brink of just, having some serious issues because they're not getting the same listings. They're having problems. They're getting false information. They want to do it on their own. They think that their home can just, get whatever they want for their home. So my thing is, what challenges and why would somebody use you as a realtor listing your house? Because I want to talk about listings.
Okay. Let me tell you this. Okay, just we have so many things that we can tell a seller of why work with us, why use a realtor. But I think right now, especially specific to this market, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, do you really want to go through 50 offers? Do you know how to just read which is the best one? It's not always the highest price. Right. There's so many terms that are involved in a real estate transaction, in an offer. There's so many other terms, what kind of financing they have. Oh, they're cash. Where's that cash coming from? Or when do they want to? There's so many other terms in a contract. So if they feel comfortable going through all those 20 offers or 50 offers that they're getting now, so.
I just think it's like this too. Like people come to you and they probably go to other realtors and they're like, "Hey,
Sure.
will you do it for 2%? Will you do it for this? Will you do it for that?" And it's like, well, would you go and work for and get a pay cut for yourself?
Yep.
Right? I mean, look, I got time and I got money, right? And I understand people want to save money, but they think, well, there's not homes on the market. You're out there and you're probably knocking doors down and talking to anybody you can to get a listing, right? And so I think the pros of getting a realtor is that potentially you can sell the house quicker. You don't have to deal with
more money.
For more money. You don't have to
Better
deal with
terms.
people coming into the house, and you
Yeah.
feel a little bit more secure because now you're getting those clients are getting screened, right?
Yes,
It's like,
absolutely.
hey, if you don't do that, it's just a free for all. You don't know who's showing up at your house sometimes. I do think that putting it on the MLS and marketing it and putting it out there, agent to agent. Look, when you're out there and you have agents, likability is a big thing. Right? If you're going to say, hey, you know what, I'm a listing agent, and you have somebody coming in and you see that, oh, okay, they're going to go this far in and they say, hey, highest and best, right?
Yeah.
Your best interest is for them to try to get the maximized amount of money out of that house relatively to what they're accomplishing on their goals, right?
Yes, absolutely. And then on the buyer side, let me just show real quick, because we have so many new construction homes going up, and so we have a lot of those buyers just because of our supply issue. The main thing that why buyers didn't use an agent, their own real estate agent, and just use the builders. Oh, the builder will give me a discount if I don't have a real estate agent. Not true anymore at all. It wasn't really true back then. It's definitely not true now.
Right.
Okay, because there's so much demand for those homes. So have your own representation. I mean, my gosh, I put two new construction homes into contract today. That builder's agent is driving me nuts. It just drove me
I would like
nuts.
to see what the actual statistics are that saying using an agent versus doing somebody on a for sale by owner, or say like buying from using an iBuying company. What is the percentage of how much difference the profit is? Like, I would think it would be substantial.
It is substantial, and I do have that statistic. It's something like you're going to get anywhere from 15 to 30% more
on your
home.
Even in this market, though.
When you list with a
even
real
in this
estate
market,
agent.
it just keeps going in this market. Because you know how everybody's like, hey, I'm just going to throw money. I'm going to go 50, 60 above list. Even in this market, you're seeing that.
Yeah.
Wow.
I am. Yeah, absolutely, because they know, and here's the thing with for sale by owners, part of the argument is when a buyer will come, well, you're listing it by yourself. You're not using an agent, so you can give me a discount on the price since you're not using an agent, which defeats the whole purpose of not using an agent, right? So again, that we'll that's what we do all day. All day,
We have
every day is
2,200 homes on the market, right?
Oh, it's not a 2,200?
2,200,
Hurt me.
right? And this has been, look at it, the back in July of 2021, we were over list consistently for I think a couple of months. Ever since then, they're getting exactly what they want to list the house for. There's no dropping on the actual price of the home for people making a profit. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Hopefully rates come down. Hopefully inflation comes down, because that's going to be that's the problem for everybody. Business owners, real estate agents, myself. I went to the store the other day, bought 4 things. It was $40.
What did you buy?
And you use $40 of gas to get
I mean,
there, right?
I think it
It
was
costs $40 of gas to get there.
it was a pack of gum and some 6-pack. No, I was playing.
Did you get Takis? Like,
I think
what?
Dan, I think you pretty much hit on the right word, right? Likability, right?
Likability.
Like, I'll tell you a good example. Like in 2008, when the market crashed, it's like that's when I went and decided to get my concrete business, right? And no houses are being sold, and I decided, okay, let me do my concrete business. And I'm like, okay, there's no jobs out there, right?
Yeah.
So my listings are on Craigslist of all places, right? And everybody know that's the cheapest site you can go to.
Okay.
So every call I got, I closed 95% of the jobs, right? Whenever anybody found out that I was going to go get the job, they said, oh, I'm not even going to show up because Bill is going to get it, right?
Yeah.
95% of the jobs.
He would bid it and win it.
And the reason why is I went there and I sat with people, and I was totally different from everybody else. They said, you know what we love about you? You described the whole job. You told us exactly what you're going to do. You were fair on price, right? I wasn't worried too much.
Well, 100%. Listen, people want to hear themselves talk, just like me. I want to hear myself talk. You know what I mean? So I'm going to sit there and talk all day, and it's like, right? Do you guys think that?
Yeah, you sound good enough.
That's why you got a podcast.
That's why
Nobody knows.
you were meant to do this, by the way. 'Cause Honestly, the first moment you said something, I was like, "You got a really good radio voice."
I tried, man. You know what's funny is we did the radio. I did the radio before with a good friend of mine, and we actually did it for 2 years. So I have a little experience at it. So I'm not going to just come in and be like, I'm a novice. I cut my teeth doing that stuff.
You can't have just a face for radio anymore because we're on TV or computer too. So
yeah, you got to do it all.
Say, I have a face for radio. Get it?
Shan.
What? It's 7:01.
I know we got to end the show, but what do you got to say at the end of this? So, do you have anything input real quick? I'll give you 2 minutes on anything that's happened to you in your business.
Thank you so much. Well, and you know what? I don't want to talk about what's happened in my business. I want to talk about exactly what they described, because what they described was number one, they were strategizing, right? You're networking and connecting. And then you're also working on mindset. Those are literally the 3 main pillars of what I do. Because in my business, and most of the time we don't have a spouse that we're working with. Even if you're married, you're still kind of doing it on your own. It's your thing. And so having that outside perspective and having somebody else to go, okay, slow it down. What do you actually want? Why? And then what is this next chapter? What are the steps we need to take to get you there? And then if we talk about networking, I'm like the queen of networking. I love people. I really am. I love I run networking events. Yeah. But it's so crucial to understand and learn how, number one, how to network, how to be likable,
100%,
how to truly connect with people, and then also just put your ass out there. Get scared, but who are the people you need to know and where do you need to go, right? And then the mindset part, you guys, you lit me on fire because it's
Absolutely.
true. It is really slowing down and going, don't react. Okay, where's my head out right now? Am I here? Am I here? And it's okay to be down here. How do I get to the next step up in my mindset?
You got it.
And to the next one. Because you can't go from I feel like shit and I hate everything's crashing, right? To I'm on fire, everything's great. That's not how it works.
Nope.
And so it's learning how to do that because it is a skill set. It takes a long time, but having support in that is massively important. I mean, think about even what they're going through, what you guys are going through in the real estate market. It takes a serious mindset to be able to go through that and conquer it and then keep moving forward. So you guys lit me on fire.
Well, I'm too late to turn back now. That's the real problem.
Same here. It's like, how could you go to any other industry?
Right. But that's good. When you have no choice.
I'll be pouring bottles till I'm 90.
I'll tell you guys, I'm so grateful that you guys came on.
Yes, it's been amazing.
You guys brought,
thank you.
The energy was great.
The energy,
thank you.
everything that you provided for everybody that are listening and for this amazing brand, just the name alone
I know.
Is meant for Vegas.
Credit Alex Toro. Yep. And
Bill.
And Bill.
Thank you.
You guys.
All right, guys, we got to end the show. I just want to say thank you guys so much.
Thanks for
real
having
quick.
us. Mahalo.
Absolutely.
Shout
We're
out
going
to my family in Hawaii.
Absolutely. We're going to get you in a second on that. And also, Bill, let's go over here. Ladies, go ahead and introduce your website or how somebody can get a hold of you.
corinLlujan.com. I think that's it. I've only had half of
How many
this.
drinks have you had, Corin?
She's had a little too much over there.
corinLlujan.com. Corin Lujan at the Mendez team at Keller Williams Realty Las Vegas.
All right. Shan Miller.
Follow me on Instagram, Shan, SHANN Miller, LV for Las Vegas. 702-445-9473. I'm on all the platforms. Go on LinkedIn.
Cheers.
You'll find my email.
I love it.
My everything, whatever.
Dude, you guys are awesome today.
You guys are
Everybody.
awesome.
Hey,
I'm going to keep
much.
going home, and I'm going to still drink some Status when I get home. I'm hooked already.
We got you bottles.
Oh, that's it.
If you go to Instagram, go to Drink Status. You'll find us there. Website is Status Sparkling Wines or StatusSparklingWines.com. And yep, that's pretty much it. I want to give a shout out to all my girls in Hawaii and Florida. And and this amazing man next to me.
Yes,
Yes,
So
Mr.
lucky.
Bill.
You'll see me on
amazing.
He
Facebook every
belongs
once
to
in a
me.
while. By the way.
Absolutely. Well, they call. I'm just gonna say it's white people in Hawaii haoles, right? Is that right? I mean, is that true? I mean, because
That's what they say.
Right. I mean, I was called a haole a few times, so I'm good with it, man. I'm cool with it. You know what I mean? I love the island people. So listen, guys, thank you so much. We're gonna be here next Saturday. We're gonna have a nice guest this Saturday. And I guys, please like the show, make comments, also subscribe to the channel.
Turn on your notifications.
Turn on that notification.
All of them.
All that
Come
stuff.
on now.
And you guys, this is the most real and behind the scenes information, financing, real estate, money talk, entrepreneurs going on. Check out Status. It's a great, great wine. We'll see you guys at the next one.
Aloha.
Choo-hoo!
Thank you for watching the French Workbench podcast. You can find us here every Tuesday at 6 p.m. and Saturday mornings at 10 a.m. to find out all the information on real estate and financing here in Las Vegas. Also, check us out on our LV Home Professionals website. You can find your future home there. A lot of good information.